We are live. We are back. We are back. We are back with walk and talk with the dog this morning. We got Kai up here. Walking with Kai today. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Just me this morning. Just good old Durrell. And figured I would get out. I worked on taking the fingerboard off of my guitar this morning some, and I've been kind of at that for the last few days now, on my Taylor guitar. And so, I'd already kind of messed up the neck, so it's funny. My buddy in guitar teacher category was just like, well, I mean, you're kind of in it. You might as well just continue working on it. I fixed the neck and then messed around and was adjusting the truss rod and wasn't paying attention and twisted it too much and popped it. So I figured I'd be working on that this morning and get out here, take a little bit of a break and walk. And so we talked about being grateful for things and gratitude. I'm actually grateful for the wisdom these days. And to have a little more patience and to know when. My grandma used to say when to hold them, when to fold them, and working on something like that takes a lot of patience and time to just not mess it up is woodwork. Working on that kind of stuff is just, it is very trying. And so getting out, doing the same thing in the morning, getting a walk in, spending time with my dogs. Yeah, that's kind of where I want to is as an entrepreneur, as somebody that is just really involved in the making of things. And again, with the economy the way it is, spending money and things like that is just not necessarily on my list of priorities, but I want to maintain the really nice things that I have. Oh, that's cool. Some crow there kind of chatting. Crows are fascinating to me. What's up? They're doing it live. Crows are, they do all kinds of things, and they're very human-like in that way in their communication. So they're always very interesting creatures when I see them. So shout out to the crows, man. But yeah, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, as someone who is just as a father, looking at the economy and the way things are now, looking at the, come on, Kai. Looking at the way things are now, I, really, I've got a lot of really, really nice things, right? Like really nice shotguns, really nice guitars and things like that. Made well, by looking at and observing the parts, but like I know these things that I have are made what are, high-end companies and things like that. And I want to just taking the fingerboard off of the guitar and fixing the truss rod that I broke in there, and just, I don't know. I think that's the thing that really adds, a sense of ownership to something for me, is being able to, something that I use and play every day instead of going and if something goes wrong with it, going and replacing it and buy another one. Like, no, just fixing the thing and fixing the problem. And it's interesting when you get into things like that, they seem less daunting. Like sometimes you have to start it, know. Sometimes you just have to start the process. And that's kind of one of the things that I've really seen come to life as I take the fingerboard off of my guitar. And just doing it really, really, really slowly. I've also been kind of photographing and documenting the process. So however good or bad it goes, you know, I'll let you guys know how it goes. But yeah, man, I mean, and having these things or had things with a story, and even Kyle right here coming in from Ecuador, when I got him, um, even him having a story there. He's not like my typical bird dogs. He's way different energy set, way different metabolism, way different everything. Just different temperament and all of that stuff. He's not the hard charging pointer, American pointer that I've had now. But what I most love about him is he's got a story. He's got an incredibly interesting story. And it took me quite a bit of work to get him here to the States. He was flown from Ecuador to Mexico and then driven from Mexico to my doorstep. And so, to have a dog, like this dude here, to have a dog like this dude here, and to just be able to spend that kind of time investigating them. And he came from a good friend, and all of that stuff. And he's only got one other sibling. He's got three other siblings, but one from his litter. It was only two in his litter. And so just being able to create a narrative and a story and to build on things, right, and to have things for a very long time and to expound on them, and kind of using today's times to kind of slow down, man, like invest yourself into something deeply that extends itself for many, many, many years to come, right? That's, for me, bird hunting, that's art, that's music, right? And my guitars. And just, nowadays, man, with the way things are, I find it more important than ever to like really just dive into those things that are most important to you, that are so very personal, and the things that you can invest yourself in your own private time, right? And they reflect your passions and things. Like, those are kind of some of the things that I'm really, really interested in doing myself. So like my guitars, and having the ones that I have, they're really nice, and just living with those for a few years, and letting the next thing or acquisition, whether it be a dog, whether it be a shotgun, whether it be a guitar, whatever it may be, letting it come by way of the story, right? Like letting it come by way of the journey. Come here, Kai. Letting it come by way of the journey. What's up, buddy? So yeah, man, just like really letting the process kind of take place and letting the process happen. Yeah, man, I think that's one of those things that I'm really just really excited to invest myself in, over the next few years. Because like I said, I mean, it's just so much noise going on in the world. So many different things and distract, and it's just like, man, I really kind of, at this point, man, headlines are all the same. Everybody has an opinion, and it's kind of like, man, let me do something to get away from the noise, man. Like something that I can do to really invest my heart, time, energy, and soul into, that will just be bigger than all the distractions nowadays, man. So like, I've been at, this upland thing, and, for going on 10 years, or this outdoor thing going on 10 years, and then been at my art thing my entire life, and this music thing creeping up on 2 years. Well, 2 years playing every day, having my first attempt at 25, you know what I'm saying? And like, but all of these things have kind of just been building to the point that, I've scripted out quite a bit of a story for it, man. And that's the thing that I'm most excited about. I'm really excited about, just having that, like, when my kids get older, I'll still be doing this thing, you know. Um, yeah, man, I'm really, 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 really amped up about that. And I really care to know what you guys, whether you're listening now or later, like what you guys are interested in that just kind of helps you get away from the world and helps you kind of either dial in, right? Like taking that break to do that special thing that you're most passionate about. Like, what is that thing and how does it help you and where does it lead you, you know? We've just got to have those things and like be adamant about, you know, be adamant about doing those things every day. And really just spending time meditating on those things too. And getting into the nuance and figuring out. So there's just a lot of really cool opportunities that we have nowadays if you're looking to getting away and getting out, you know, over the noise and the mess. So, you know, I've got mine. I've got a pretty cool history behind these dogs that I have you know, really engaged myself in. I've got feeling good about the artwork that I'm making too. You know, this new paint process is, you know, I'm using something that actually I feel like really allows me to be like, that's Durrell's work. Like, I mean, I've had that my entire life in terms of just really spending the time to develop a body of artwork that, you know, and getting confident in my hand as a painter and as a you know, drawer and all of that stuff. You know, when you go to college and do all of that stuff too. But what I most enjoy right now is this, you know, pigment, this yellow pigment that I get a chance to make and use in my work, and it brings a certain type of energy to it. It brings a certain feel. Yeah, it just places it really places it in a kind of very cerebral space when I look at my work. So like I'm also grateful that I'm like, in my artwork right now, I'm feeling very, very strong about it. Like next year at American Soil, American Soul, you know, our exhibition, it will still be in Charleston, back at Norton and Hodges. You know, nothing's changed. We just moved the date. But I feel really good about the work that I'm doing, my artwork. Like it looks good. It allows me to showcase, you know, my skill as you know, in hand as a technician, but also, you know, as a painter. There you go, Kai, come here. Allows me to show my skill in hand as a technician and as a painter. Whoop, there we go. You know, and then I can also do it very fast. So for me, making artwork, a lot of it is very much so about speed too. Like, how fast can I make the work? That's not the case for everybody. I understand that's not their thing, but for me, it very much so is. How fast can I, you know, get work started and finished? Because I have a lot of my thing is I have a lot of different ideas, and my interests evolve very, very, very quickly. Like, I'll get into one thing and that'll lead me down another hole into something else, and it grows, which that's the part of the creative process that I really like, is getting into those wormholes and letting those holes evolve, you know, as it goes. So, you know, that's really one of the things, and because of that, my work, I feel like, is actually very strong now. You know, so that's been a big thing for me, being able to match it also with my music. So like using it to be inspired by my music, and understanding the process of music making and learning music, or music making, like the actual physicality of music making, in addition to not only just recording a song, but producing it and getting it onto a tangible device. Like, that part, I'm really also excited to be invested in as far as the creative process as well. Um, it really adds a layer of finality to the work that I'm doing. I think you can practice music, you can practice guitar, you can practice songwriting, you can do all of these things, practice singing, but if you don't, like for me, I understand why, obviously the same reason why people have recitals, but for me, working as, my own artist and things like that, you've got to give yourself benchmarks, right? So like artistically, my benchmarks are having an exhibition every year, American Soul. But then musically, my benchmarks are write a good song, and once you do it and record it, like get it put on a cassette, right? And get it recorded really well. Stuff like that really mattered to me, man. Just being able to have some type of finality to my work. For me, with my dogs, it's guiding, but not even just guiding. It's being able to take those scenes from the hunts and stuff, and being able to put it into painting, and seeing that and allowing that to infuse itself with my current style of work. So I mean, I've got a lot of good direction, I think, now, even with my podcast, the Sporting Life Notebook. Like, I'm getting back to having a lot of direction there. Not quite where I want it to be. Like it was the Powerhouse podcast that, I started it as, because so much has just changed, and that's part of the process. But, for me, I do like to see growth in the things that I do creatively. And so my podcast is growing and changing as well. So just a lot of great directions going. We've got good, solid foundations and partnerships. One of those, obviously being Field and Stream Pet Provisions, which I'll talk more about that soon, of course, watching other episodes, but then also, Beretta USA and them partnering with us. And we also have like Christmas ornaments and stuff coming for the holiday season on American Soul, AmericanSoul.com. I actually need to rephotograph the images and give y'all a better view of what the ornaments actually look like. But yeah, we got a lot coming up, man. We've got a lot of good things coming up, and I'm excited to continue just getting on this live stream every morning with y'all, weekday mornings, as long as don't nothing come up. But yeah, weekday mornings, usually around 10 or 11, usually about 10:30, I do these live streams. It's that Ashley's not with us today, my wife, but I imagine we'll continue to have a good time. Thank y'all for getting on here. Like and subscribe to the content, please. Come here, Kai. There you go. Like and subscribe to the content, please. And go check out our coffee at American Soul, AmericanSoul.com. The Grassroots Coffee Roasters and American Soul Sporting Blend. And we got ornaments. Like I said, go check out the ornaments online as well. All right, folks. Until next time, my friends.